Welcome back to BrisketMedic. Today, folks, we're going to be doing something very new to me. I was at the store looking for a good alternative to buying a whole brisket. I'm about to go out of town for a week, and I'm just trying to make different meals so that I can eat every night without having to spend money on going out. Now, I don't want to buy a whole brisket because that's going to be too much. I'm just one person. I thought about getting a chuck roast because they call that the poor man's brisket, but it's so much more dollars per pound than brisket. It's really not that great of a deal, but I love the flavor of chuck roast. And so I found something along those realms that is new to me, and I had to read about it and look it up. It's called a mock tenderloin. Now, don't confuse this with the petite tenderloin that's found in the same general area, a little bit around the shoulder on the clot itself, but this is the mock tenderloin. It's a little higher up. It's not as tender as the petite tenderloin. It's more along where they get the flat iron, if I am remembering correctly. If I'm wrong, let me know down in the comments if you have more knowledge about this piece, because I really don't know anything about it. But what I do know is you got to cook it low and slow. It's got a piece of that silver skin, that connective tissue that runs through it, so it's not going to be tender. You can't really do steaks with it. So we're going to cook it low and slow, much like a brisket. So I'm going to bring you in. We're going to get it trimmed up, and then we're going to throw down some Uncle Steve's competition cow shake. Keeping it simple, guys. One rub, throwing it on with some Smokey Woods lump charcoal and some pecan chunks on the Masterbuilt 1050. We're just going to cook it until it's probe tender so that I can make meals for the rest of the week. And it was less than 20 bucks. I ain't mad about that. 7 days of food for $20. Let's go. No glove, no love, baby. So now we're gloved up. We got our PPE on, and we see the silver skin on this side here. We are going to be taking that off, flipping it over. There's not much here, but you can see that right there is going to have silver skin running all the way through the entirety of this piece of meat, but where those two muscles kind of overlap. And so we're going to be taking that off there on the top and then slow cooking it. I might take this tail end off because it's so thin right there, and we'll go from there. So make sure you have a sharp knife. This knife isn't as sharp as I would like it to be, but it's what we're using today, so that's what we got. I'm just going to come up on this side and come up underneath it and fillet it kind of like a fish. Generally, I do a fish upside down, but I want you to be able to see the silver skin. And I'll show you here in a second why we take the silver skin off. I take it off of most things. With briskets, it depends on how I'm cooking it and what I'm cooking it for. But having a real cold piece of meat and a sharp knife is helpful. So there's a little bit of meat there, not a whole lot. I can still see through it, but see how tough this is? You can make a rope out of that if you wanted to. That's why we're cutting it off. And if it's that tough, it's not going to chew well. It's also not going to penetrate, penetrate flavor or smoke very well also. So we're just going to take a little bit of this fat off, shave just a hair of this end off, make it uniform. Come down over here, shave that, cut this tip off, just the tip. L'chaim. We can just get some of these straggly edges off. Just a little bit of silver skin left here, so we're just going to insert underneath. Again, trying not to take away a lot of meat with the skin. Around that corner over. It's kind of tedious. You don't have to do that, but old habits die hard. Use that as a handle. Pull back. Sharp edges off. Now, this is a small piece of meat, so about halfway through cooking this, when it hits about 160 internal temperature, I am going to put it in a piece of foil, in a foil pan, and add some beef broth to it just so it cooks and doesn't lose a whole lot of moisture. And not a lot of marbling. There is some marbling, better than some cheap briskets I've seen out there, but yeah, this is about 3 pounds. After we trimmed it, I'm thinking it's close to 3 pounds. So this is going to feed me easily for a week. Dinners, and I'm just going to cook it like a brisket. So let's get some Uncle Steve's shake put on there. Again, going competition cow shake. Keeping it simple with one rub. Usually I'll layer things on, but this is a pretty complex, deep flavored rub, where you really don't have to do that to get great flavor out of it. I am going to cover it really nice. I'm going to roll it, make sure I get the sides. Make sure you get that end. Hit that again. Heavy, heavy coat. I like this competition cow shake because of those big pepper flakes that are in it. All right. We're going to let that sweat. I'm going to put my little fly protectors over here, keep the flies off of it. We're going to let that sweat in. Our smoker's getting up to 250 degrees, and we're ready to go. So we're 1 hour in, and it's starting to get some gorgeous color on it. Starting to darken up very, very nicely. Building that bark. Looks like it's cooking pretty even. So we're going to shut it down for another hour, and it's probably going to be ready to wrap at that time. All right, so at 2 hours, I did look at it. It didn't quite have the bark that I wanted, but I do want to wrap it up. And watching it at 2 hours, it was starting to shrink. I don't think I have a pan small enough for it, so I'll probably just wrap it in foil. This is 3 hour mark now, so let's go ahead and open it up. I'm hoping it has a bark, hoping it has a decent bark, but either way, I think we're going to have to wrap it up just so it doesn't dry out. What? It's wrinkly. Got a little beehole. It shrunk up. What I'm assuming happened is that sinew, that silver skin running through the middle, has started to contract as it was cooking down, and it just kind of pulled it all together. It's funny looking. It's very interesting. So we're going to wrap this up. We're going to add some broth to it and wrap it up tight and let it finish cooking. There's some drippage going. That's a good sign. Maybe it won't be as dry as I'm thinking it would be. There's not a whole lot of these on the YouTubes to reference a cook for. I'm going to pour a little bit on top. We're going to wrap it and then add some more. Tighten this up. Got kind of a spout there. Put it up here in place. Add some more. Let that braise a little bit for another hour and see what happens. Let that bad boy braise. All right, here we go. All right, let's give it a try. You can see, obviously, guys, it's the next day. Had a sick kid, and things got kind of busy. I'm gonna try this out. We'll see. Not terrible, not great. Tastes like a chuck roast. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever do that again. If there's a cut of meat that you're not sure of, and you want to see me try it out, comment down below what that may be. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Drink more water.